so tired of just spinning your wheels, and today you're like, maybe I should move to Portugal, maybe I should move to France, maybe I'm going to Taiwan, I've got to get out of here, but I don't know where to go. Okay, maybe that was a little dramatic. But sometimes we know we want to change and we're just thinking of everywhere, and there are so many countries in the world, and we just need to narrow it down because we need to spend our time looking up visa options, healthcare, schooling, jobs. And if we were to look this up for all, 100 and whatever countries, by the time we've looked it all up, everything's gonna have changed and we're gonna have gotten no sleep. So today I actually have a solution that is going to help narrow down the decision for you to 10 destinations, and then you can just focus on those 10 destinations and put the rest of the countries out of your mind. Until you wake up in the middle of the night and you see a YouTube about somewhere else and you put that on the list. But really, let's help narrow it down with this online test from Expatsy. And no, I'm not affiliated with them. So this test is located at expatsy.com, and it's run by a woman, a couple who offers services to people looking to move abroad, and they have made this test. So we're going to take the test together. How exciting. And I'm just going to fill in some answers that strike me today. Let's start the test. All right, why do you want to move abroad? And I think this is a really important question to always reflect upon. I think some people, maybe you started watching YouTube videos and you've gotten so into the idea of moving abroad that you want to make that goal happen, but you've forgotten why you actually want to move abroad. So I think it's really good that this test starts with that question. All right, so choose all that apply. Okay, I definitely want some adventure. I'm not thinking too much about education today. Family, yes, but I'm not moving for a spouse or someone I'm dating. Let's see, US is too conservative, US is too divided, US is too liberal. I guess this is to try to figure out how woke you want to be. Yeah, that's me. The US is a little too conservative for me. I definitely want to avoid the gun violence. And at the moment, I'm lucky that it's not really about saving money for me. But as you can see, there are all kinds of selections you can make depending on your particular criteria. Okay, now when do you want to move? Now I'm doing this fictitiously, but let's just say because I have a kid, I'm not going to necessarily just pull her out of school tomorrow. So I'm going to put six months to 2 years range, or well, let's see. Maybe I don't want to move in the next 2 years, but maybe for me, in 5 to 10 years, I'll be looking to change places. Okay, how big is your expat party? Well, who knows in 5 to 10 years, but right now it's two people. Monthly household budget in US dollars. Well, I'm not going to give you guys my actual budget, but let's just say we're going to put it right in the middle. And that way, we're having some resources, but just in case my income takes a dip in the next 5 to 10 years, I'm not locked into needing to have tons of money, because even if I have it, I don't want to necessarily be using everything that I have. And my preference for value, do I want wealthy countries that cost more but offer many services and top-notch infrastructure, world-class resort style living? I'm not sure that's exactly my preference. Great values where my money stretches further. I can live more luxuriously than I can afford in the US. I'd like to consider both. Well, I mean, I'd like to consider both. For me, I'm still a young 46, I believe, but if I'm thinking about 5 to 10 years, definitely healthcare is going to be a concern for me. And so I'm thinking a country with some good infrastructure is going to be important. Let's see, most people leaving the US. So it looks like this test is very US centric, but of course, There's nothing to stop you from doing this test if you're not an American. Um, I am. Most people leaving the US end up applying for one of these kinds of visas. Which would you apply for? Okay, 5 to 10 years. I am not going to be retired yet. Investor Beaver. Okay, I don't know. Not sure. Perfect. Perfect. But all of these are options, and I think we've discussed some of these already on the channel, and we'll probably discuss some others soon. Next, okay, how quickly do you want to be able to get back to the US? Well, again, this is different when I'm looking 5 to 10 years out. I think right now 6 to 12 hours because I do still have work in the US. In 5 to 10 years, I don't know if that's still going to be important, but I would prefer it. So I'm going to put 6 to 12 hours because 12 hours is still a long time. And where I'm from, where my family still lives, there's always then a connecting flight. So let's not make it a few days. Live in any of these time zones. Hmm. Again, it depends. My current work, Pacific, my time zone is hard. But yeah, I'm going to have no preference for this one. I want to see what it gives me. And what language do I speak or I'm open to speaking? Well, fluent English speaker. I was once upon a time proficient in Arabic, but that has been many, many years. You know what? Let's just put that. 我会说中文，没问题. Yeah, taken Dutch. I lived in the Netherlands 3 times. Well, I lived there one time and visited a few times. French. Je suis en train d'étudier le français. German, I'm willing to learn. Don't really know any German. TK, I love me some Bollywood, or I don't know any Indonesian. Let's just put it that way. Ah, Italiano. Okay. Japanese, watashi wa American desu. I've forgotten all my Japanese. Portuguese started that one. Russian, I am very interested in learning Russian. Spasiba. Spanish. Hola tout le monde. See, I'm mixing them all. And then let's just go in and put Turkish because it's also a language that interests me, but I definitely do not know any Turkish. So I'm sorry, Malay and Indonesian. I'm not particularly interested at this point in diving into those languages just because I've got a lot of languages I've already like to perfect. Okay, this is where we go and we pick what regions we would prefer. I'm gonna have no preference because I'm really interested to see maybe in the future 5 to 10 years, I'm going to want to move somewhere really different from where I am now and even where I've been before. Okay, climates. Hmm. For me, I'm not as into tropical. Also don't want super cold summers. I'm not loving some of these, honestly, I don't love a lot of weather if it's not exactly 72 degrees, but in life you can't be that picky. So for me, while weather does really affect my mood, I've often found the cities I like to live in don't have weather I love, so I'm not going to be too particular about that. But again, it's really great that this test has that because, ask me in the middle of winter and I might be putting a larger emphasis on weather. And speaking of that, I'm just gonna pick the tropical too. Everything but super cold summers I'm gonna pick. All right, these 20 questions, it's pretty robust. Okay, do you prefer any of these features? Beaches, coastline, tropical islands, mountains, cities with more than 5 million people. All right, people, I am a city person through and through. I like myself a beach, not too much of an island person. I do like mountains, but I also like not having to climb up hills. There you go. How do you expect to pay for healthcare when you're abroad? Well, I love me some universal healthcare, even though I have never been able to use it. If necessary, though, those are a possibility for now, but it's something I might look into a little more before I choose where to live. What quality of healthcare? Okay, I think I at least want to be in the top quarter. I'm going to be over 50. Let's just be honest. Safety, US is in the top 50. Okay. I do prefer more safety, but again, I don't want to be picky about everything because at this point, I just don't want to eliminate possibilities because I'm looking 5 to 10 years in the future. But if I were looking for something, 6 months from now and my daughter's really small, I think safety would go way up there. It was definitely a bigger concern for me on my latest move. Okay. Infrastructure, airports, railroads. US is in the top 10. Let's just put top 25. Again, I've got a kid. What do you want to be legal? Uh, yeah, at least same-sex relationships. I would prefer, well, some of these and not others, but I'm just going to put that's a bottom line one for me. Any of these religious communities to be prominent? Well, it's good they're thinking about this. Yeah, this test is pretty robust. Okay, it's not a big deal for me though. Would you like your new home to rank highly on any of these recommendations? You know, in the past, I might not have put this, but I'm going to actually pick best countries for women. Even though I've lived in a lot of countries where women's rights are not very high up there, but I think as a fully formed individual, I can kind of deal with that with a critical eye. But I have a young daughter, and in 5 to 10 years, she's still going to be young, and I want her to have a good experience. My age group, well, I think we're talking about right now, so I'm going to put this, just, I'm going to leave that blank. I'm going to submit it. And meanwhile, while you see that my results are still not ready from that last test, I'm just going to show you a little bit about what else Expatsy has to offer. And no, I'm not, at least at the moment, affiliated with them in any way. Looks like they've got some ads going. Okay, so besides the test, and of course, once you submit the answers for your test, you're going to be signed up to their mailing list. I thought maybe the issue was that I had already taken the test, so I tried another email address that's still not working. But they have a Move Abroad membership, like a lot of other Move Abroad coaches and consultancies. They've got all their creds, who they've been featured on, why them, group scouting trips. And just a full disclosure, these are all services that I'm also considering providing in the near future. But there are many different groups you might want to look at, and Patsy seems like a pretty solid consultancy slash membership to look into because I am now on their mailing list and I signed up for their Facebook. I do see a lot of the scouting trips they have planned. They look really interesting. They've got a blog here. I think the founder, and I'm not sure if the founder is just this woman here or her and her partner. I think they're living in Mexico. So if you're really interested in Mexico, they have a lot of articles on that, and so they might be the people to go to for that. Now, I also know, and let me see if I can find it, that they do have, yeah, okay, so they have a list of different coaches, and I don't know how this works in terms of going to consent to this. In terms of, I'm sure Expatsy's getting something, but these are probably individual consultants running their own programs. But it's really great because they have move abroad coaches and consultants that are kind of experts or specialize in different things. So even if Jen here, who runs the site, is not the expert you're looking for, you can come on here and connect with people who specialize in moving abroad, for example, for Black Americans, people that can help you navigate cultural skills, digital nomads. Okay, we've got someone who does document preparation, downsizing, education alternatives, golden visas, LGBTQ plus support, legal professionals, healthcare, golden visa in Portugal, nursing UK. So that's really great. If you're certified as a nurse in the UK, that's a really specialized thing. You might want to meet with Jenny here, people that are looking into doing online school, people are worried about moving abroad with their pets and real estate, solo nomads, RV nomads, studying abroad, teaching English, teaching jobs, therapy and therapist jobs, and veterans. And you never know, maybe one day I will be on this list. And then you have people that are actually relocation specialists doing visa assistance, skilled workers in Australia, Costa Rica. You can see these all. So just a plethora of different people, and you might want to do a consult with multiple people. It's really great that they have these resources. You know, sometimes you need a little support, and I know there are services, everything from people that are just going to give you a little talk through so they can encourage you along the way, to people that are going to really hold your hand all the way through. So Expatsy looks like a really great resource to help you figure out where you want to move and then provide resources. All right, for those of you who are curious for the actual results of the test we took, actually I kept getting the doom scroll, so I started again and I did the same answers. The results are in. So here we have France, top destination. Oh yeah. Spain, Japan, ooh, Netherlands, Belgium, United Kingdom, Italy, Australia, China, and Israel. Okay, besides the last one, and no shame on Israel. I don't want to get into it. It's just there's a lot going on right now. But this looks like a pretty interesting list for me to think about for moving to in 5 to 10 years. All right, so that wraps it up. I hope this resource helps. I'd love it if you went in and take the test and see what 10 countries you get and which ones resonate with you. Let me know in the comments. Also, let me know if there's a country on the list that you would like me to delve further into. Maybe I can schedule a trip and even do a little virtual scouting tour for us. And if you're interested in Move Abroad content, make sure to like and subscribe. Until next time, ciao.